Do it. No, we're going old school.
We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live.
Welcome to the Mouthpiece, episode 40, year 2. Today, we're going to talk about the coronavirus apocalypse, my internet poker fiasco this week, as well as an interview with the one and only Chris Moneymaker. So stay tuned. We're live. The Mouthpiece is next. What up, everybody? How's it going? It's Wednesday, April Fools. I guess we've been in the Matrix for about a month, and since April Fools today, they just told us that it's all over with and we can go out now. But I don't think that's a good April Fool's joke. So, anyways, it's kind of weird. Nothing much to talk about. I mean, I'm going to stay away from politics this week because I realize that it's just way too divisive right now. And I want to just, for the good of the country, say a lot of good things. And we're all going to get through this together. I'm playing a lot of internet poker between WSOP.com, some underground black market sites, we play a little bit at this poker RRR2 where they don't take any rake, and then we've been zooming all our people into it. So we've been playing like 5-10 on this poker app, and then also we're all joined Zoom, so like 9 of us in a Zoom box. And so that's kind of what we've been doing. And, that's pretty much it. So I've been, let's see, I'm right now playing a 10-20 no limit online, and I'm playing a Big O. I'm winning, let's see, I'm down about 3,000 in the Big O. I was down 8, and I'm winning about 8,000 in the 10-20 no limit. I've been ahead the whole time. So, Mouthpiece and playing poker at the same time. This is I'm trying to multitask because the games that I'm in are pretty good. Matter of fact, after the Mouthpiece, I might even stream them for you, just to give you an idea of kind of what I'm doing. So, that's about it. I've been trying to stay away from, like I said, the news, the politics. I know that, they're saying it's going to get really bad, that the next 2 weeks will be the darkest days in the history of America. But it's not just America. It's all over the world. It's like everyone over in the whole world is going to experience what we're about ready to experience. Hopefully that we're equipped for it. I think we are. I watch the political spin on both sides, and how they try and degrade each other, which you guys got to understand. It's just politics. And so, it kind of sucks. I was hoping with a disaster of this magnitude that everybody would kind of take the partisan out of it, but that's where I was wrong. And that's why I kept getting so upset, because I'm like, why are they lying? Why are they lying? And of course, they've been lying for 3.5 years. So why would they not be lying now? So there's going to be 5 months to go over what's basically has happened in this country. And there'll be plenty of time where they'll be able to debate about who did what wrong and who did what right. But right now, it's not that time. And I think it's very important to listen to the professionals and watch the briefings and see what they have to say. And then just stay inside and get people inside and hopefully do the best. So, with that said, we are going to open up our phone lines before we get to an interview with Chris Moneymaker. His internet is down today, so we won't be able to have him on video. We're going to have him just on voice call. So I think, Mr. Computer, it's time for phone call segments.
The Mouthpiece.
If you'd like to take part in our phone call segment, you can give us a call at 702-329-0480. And if you're a snowflake or a pussy and you don't want to talk to me, you can email me at mouthpiecepodcast@gmail.com. Also, follow me at the Mouth Matiso on Twitter for times that our call-in segment will be live.
All right. We're waiting on our phone call segments. People are going to call in. I was in the middle of a big pot when little music just ended there. So call on in 702-329-0480. 702-329-0480. And we can talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. And then afterwards, we're going to give Chris Moneymaker a call and see how he's holding up. So let's light up those phone lines, everybody. Right now, I just want a nice pot and Big O with the nut flush. And I wish I could show you guys, but I'm going to. I think I'm gonna definitely stream these live games that I've been playing in. Then you can all tell me how bad I am as I win every day. My problem is I just can't. I can't be playing long hours, and as long as I don't play long hours and take the loss or the win, I'm fine. Long hours have been my downfall my whole life, and I'm gonna try my hardest not to do it. One thing is sitting on this fucking desk. I don't know if you guys have this problem. Maybe it's my injury. Hello. Maybe it's my injury, but God, my shoulder's just killing me. Maybe it's from squeezing the mouse. Like, you guys ever seen these roly-poly mouses? You know, like you roll the ball. And I have it here, and you squeeze it. Well, my shoulder's fucking killing me. So it sucks. But other than that, I'm doing well, physically, emotionally, mentally. Kind of used to this quarantine since I think I've left the house about maybe 20% of the time in 5 years. That might be high. I haven't left the house that many days. 20% of the time would be like, I don't know, like what, 80 days a year? I haven't left the house 80 days a year. I might have left the house 80 days in 5 years. So I'm kind of used to this quarantine. But with that said, it kind of sucks where you can't go out to restaurants and shit like that. So anyways, I'm waiting for your calls. Everybody call in. See if anybody has any questions for me. Let's see. 5-way action here in a Big O hut. And, all right, we got a call. Well, welcome to the Mouthpiece. This is Mike. What's going on?
Yo, what's up, buddy?
Oh, nothing much. Just playing a little online poker.
Yeah, you making any money today?
I am. I got stuck 8,000, and I think now I am up. Let's see, 24. I'm up about 3,600.
That's what's up, bro.
So
you got the fucking life, man.
Wow, this is an interesting hand. The board's Jack 5-8 on in Big O. I got a complete wrap. I thought I had top pair. I would have raised this with a complete wrap. That was stupid of me.
Do it, dude.
But yeah.
Get their asses.
I got a second nut low draw on a complete wrap, 7-9-10 on the ace 7-9-10. The board's Jack 8-5. So any 6 through queen. Came a deuce on the turn, gives me fucking nut low. Let's see what happens here.
You got a lot of outs, man.
Yeah, I mean it's hard. If they check it to me, I'm potting. This guy potted.
Yeah, you got to do it.
Guy
Best
potted in
play.
front of me. Let's see if I get there. Yeah, I got there for at least half. I might have three quarters.
What happened? I'm
I
not
don't
watching
know.
you. I'm on
Do you have a
I'm on the
question,
phone now.
butthole?
Yeah, do you have a question,
Do I
butthole?
do I have a question? Not really, man. I just wanted to talk to you. I saw your number and I was like, let me give this fucker a call, man, because he's a cool guy,
Yeah.
you know.
No, I appreciate
So
it, man.
I beat some cake right now. Got me some milk, chocolate
Yeah.
cake.
How's how you doing with the quarantine?
Locked in, man. Going
Locked
crazy.
in, being safe. Good.
You know.
So bored out of your mind, huh? No fucking sports.
Out
no
of my
nothing?
mind. Out of my mind. Just playing some cards, man. Losing my ass.
Yeah, the black market internet poker world is fucking lit.
Yeah, man. They're creaming their pants today, man.
I mean, it's
They're
fucking
loving this
lit.
shit.
And it is. It can't get no lit than it is. You know.
Yeah,
So the games have been good, but I haven't played. I've only played internet poker like a couple of years ago. I played for about 6 months, but that's about all I've played since 2011, in like 9 years.
really.
Yeah. I mean,
Well, I watched you during the series, watching you playing online. You were doing pretty good online.
Yeah. I know.
You know.
That was fun to do. I'm going to do that this year.
Yeah.
Man. What's it called? Hold on. This is an interesting flop I got here. I got a set and a fucking second nut low on a 1, 2, 3 board. Let's see. I'm going to bet about half pot. If anybody raises me, I'll just throw them up.
Mikey, it's podcast time.
I know it's podcast time.
Oh,
I'm giving them
podcast time. Mikey, does that mean I got to go?
It means you got to go. All right, man.
All right,
I appreciate the call, man.
Hey, I love you, man. I fucking love you,
too,
bro. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
You got it, man. Take care.
You too.
Yep. All right. We got another call.
Hello.
Yeah, welcome to the Mouthpiece. This is Mike.
Hey, Mike. How you doing, man?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm pretty good. I know you wanted to keep politics out of the conversation tonight, and not about.
Yeah, it's okay. Well, I mean, I'm gonna try and keep it down. You know, I realize I got wrapped up in it. You know, I know how evil the media is for 3.5 years, and I just thought because of the fact that the crisis going on, they would lay off and not try and divide us, but they're trying to divide us worse. And I just kind of went a little bit crazy. But now I understand that it's just the same politics we've been dealing with for 3.5 years. So I'm just not going to try. I'm trying not to engage, but go ahead. Shoot a question at me.
Yeah, no worries. So this is a little separate side of that. Do you think with that changing, do you think we'll see more online gambling since the casinos are shut down? Do you think that possibly they'll open it up to more states? Because I know I'm in a state that doesn't allow it.
Yeah, you just gotta, there's a lot of online sites that are going that are kind of black market type of online sites. A lot of people are playing on them, but as far as being, I would say it will be. I mean, the word part is Sheldon Adelson's really against internet gambling, and he's the biggest Republican donor. Trump's for online gambling, so it's catch-22 there. I do believe it's something they want to do. They know what kind of revenue, especially after this is over. They're going to need more revenue stream. So, man, this is going to be I don't know. When Trump says for the next 2 weeks is going to be the darkest point in this country, it makes you wonder. You know what I mean?
Right. If he's saying that, it's going to be bad. You would expect.
God, do you imagine how bad it's going to be when he says it's going to be bad? Wow.
Right.
I flopped them nuts on the King 9.
So. Well, I guess the only thing we can do is keep our heads up and keep going from here.
Yep. All we can do, man.
How about
That's
this? Any elementary poker listeners listening to you on the podcast? Any if let's say the World Series is happening this year, which it might happen later on. Do you have any like first time entry? Like if there was like one golden rule or anything like that?
Yeah. Oh wow! I just won a 15K pot. Wow! A jack on the river. We both had the nuts. I have to talk about this hand.
Nice, man. Nice.
Hold on a second. Now I got like another big hand. We both had the nuts. I had ace, deuce, jack, queen, 5 in big O, and I potted the flop of 9-10 king. He called. I potted, put them all in on the. Wow, this guy's re-raised me. I'm sitting there with 3 aces, a 7-3 double suited. I'll just call. So
taking them down.
Yeah. So hold on, this guy just got out. So
Mikey, it's podcast time.
I know, but I'm telling my guy here. Hold on a second.
I'm all ears. I like the action.
Yeah. Ooh, I scooped it with aces. Boom, another 3,600. You're my good luck charm. Boom, boom. I won
there you go.
I've won like 10,000 since I've been on the phone with you, man. You're my good luck charm. So, all right, I'm gonna sit out here now because I want to focus on you. So let's go. So what do you want to talk about?
The only other thing I would say, like, I remember one time. Now, I've played for years and everything. I'm not saying I'm good or a professional or anything like that, but
yeah,
I remember like that we were riding on the way to the casino one night. It was like one of my first trips to the casino. He was like basically X, Y, and Z, like play by these rules. I didn't know if there was like just kind of 3 basic golden rules that you would say to somebody if they were going to play in a World Series of Poker event for the first time.
Right. Okay. So if you're going to play in the World Series of Poker event for the first time, my advice is I think it's important to if it's a smaller buy-in like a 1,500 or something, to show up on time. And I think it's very important to play tight. Everybody thinks you have to play lots and lots of hands. Me and Phil, we just basically believe, play tight, and just be solid. And then, if you're at the same table for a long time and you're getting some chips, accumulating some chips, then use your image to 3-bet a little bit more and play a few more pots. And that's just how I play. I just believe it's a lot easier if you play a lot of pots and you're a maniac, right? You have to hit hands to get paid. It's a lot easier to play tight, get yourself a good image, and when the blinds go up, to open up and everybody thinks you're tight, so you can steal pots. Does that make sense?
No.
So
no,
that's how I play, and I've been really successful. I don't believe
that makes sense.
A lot of things that people say, I just, me and Phil, a lot of people say things about us, but all we do is keep getting there. And I don't even play. I played 4 no limit hold'em tournaments in 2 years. I got a 15th, a 30th, the 199 in the main event, and a 27th in the LAPC, 15th at Bay 101 3 weeks ago. So, and I made a mistake. It gave the tournament away. So people think that the game's changed so much. The game ain't changed shit. All these fucking solvers and all that bullshit, those are for people who have no talent. That's all I have to say.
No, I loud and clear. I hear you out, and that makes sense. I appreciate the little tips.
You got it, man.
I keep doing what you're doing, man.
You got it, man. Stay strong during this. Stay strong. Stay safe during this quarantine. All right, my man. Thanks for calling.
You too.
All right, later. All right. See if we have any more phone calls. Well, welcome to the Mouthpiece. It's Mike. Hello.
Oh, hey, Mike. How you doing?
Good. Who's this?
Oh, this is Derek.
Hey, Derek. How's it going, man? What's been going on?
Good, man. Yeah, I have a question. This is probably going to sound like a weird question, but, since you're good friends with Phil Hellmuth, You know, I think there's a lot of interest in him, and people, you know, are interested in him and just, you know, his whole way of life and everything. And I'm just wondering, can you talk about like some of what his favorite things are, like maybe his favorite drink?
His favorite thing to do is
what he
talk
likes
about
to eat?
himself. That's his favorite thing to do. His second favorite thing to do is tell everybody else how great he is. His third favorite thing to do is get crushed by me playing online poker.
That's right. What does he like to drink, and you know, and what does he like to eat and that kind of thing?
He likes to actually he doesn't drink much at all. You know what I mean?
Okay,
He don't drink much.
He
He might go out and have some champagne. He likes to drink Dom Perignon. He likes to eat good. You know, he's a good person, man. He's a little bit crazy. He's a little bit
Silence your phone, Mikey.
But yes, I'm going to do that. My phone keeps fucking ringing. I don't know why. Out of nowhere, they all haven't got a text all day. They decide they're going to text me right when I'm on the podcast. So yeah, so you know, he's a good guy, you know, and he you know, a lot of people, you know, we're really. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, are you planning
Professionalism on the
meetup games
podcast is key.
after everything opens back up?
What's that? About everything opening back up? What did you say?
Oh, I mean, when everything opens back up, do you think you'll be doing some more meetup games with him
Oh
down the road?
yeah. I've actually got I'm working on a contract. I'm gonna be doing a lot of meetup games. Plus, I'm gonna be doing some with him. He just bought some pieces of some casinos in Houston, so we're gonna be doing some of those. But I don't. This is going to be really rough. I don't see things getting back to normal till about August here. And we don't know what the damage is going to be afterwards. I mean, I never in a million years in the year 2020 with the world connected could have thought this could happen. But when you have one country that hid it from the entire world, that's how it happens. You know?
Exactly. They tried to cover up, you know, everything, and their government is all about secrecy, and now we're paying the price.
That's basically what they did. It's there's, you know, there's nobody to blame except for one person only, China. And I think Xi Jinping is going to end up having to step down because the economic fallout from the world from this is I just don't think he'll be able to overcome it politically. I mean, there's just too much negativity towards China, and the bottom line is that they would have, when the thing first happened, if they would have let the CDC, World Health Organization, in right away, we wouldn't have this problem. But they're fucking like they're an arm of the World Health Organization. Like the World Health Organization literally puts out Chinese propaganda to match what they're saying. I mean, literally January 20th, no human to human contact, nothing to worry about. It's racist to close air travel to China, all that shit, right? Because that's what they were being told, you know. But it is what it is, and now we have this mess, and there's just nobody to blame but China. Anybody who wants to blame anybody else, I just tell them unfollow me on Twitter and my podcast, because you know, you can hate Trump all you want, but the guy, look what they put this guy. They put him through 3 years of hell, and now he's facing like a crisis that nobody in the right mind. I mean, what this guy has to deal. I mean, I bet he used to sleep 3 hours a night. He might not even be sleeping an hour a night now. So, you know, he's under all, you know, you gotta give it to all the nurses, doctors, frontline workers, the whole entire task force team, Trump, all the governors, everybody's working good around, you know, to try and get this thing situated. And there's no time to blame governors. There's no time to blame Trump. There's no time. There'll be plenty of time to blame everybody afterwards. But right now, I think it's just so important that that we all get through this, you know?
Yeah, the sooner this nightmare is over, the better.
Yeah, and it's a nightmare. I mean, for me, my life doesn't change at all. But for, you know, for 90% of this country, it's a nightmare. You know, I mean, people that work week to week, all the people in the service industry, how are they going to get food on the table? You know, as far as paying bills, you know, they're going to slide on that. But as far as like paying bills and shit. I mean, it's going to be a nightmare. I was a little upset.
Yeah,
That
exactly.
this,
Everybody is having anxiety, and
yeah, I had anxiety
stressed
really
out of their
bad.
minds.
I'm doing better now with the anxiety, but I do have days where I do get a lot of anxiety, and it's the people that have to worry about that work week to week and have to get food on the table for their kids. I'm real upset that the stimulus is taking 3 weeks to get to people. This should have been. That's why I'm mad. That this should have been. They could have worried about the bailouts for all these corporations after. The first thing they needed to do was get the money out to these people so they don't starve to death. And to say 3 weeks, I mean, people will be dead in 3 weeks. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm very upset about that. So,
Yeah, it is outrageous. So, they could do it in, 1 or 2 days.
Fuck it. They have all they have to do. They got everybody's social security number. It's all whoever paid the taxes. They know exactly. It's pretty ridiculous.
There's no excuse for that.
No, absolutely none.
We have some more calls, butthole.
Okay. All right. Shut up, computer.
Thanks for
We got to
taking my
go.
call,
We got
Mike.
more calls.
Looking
I'll
forward
talk to you
reading
later.
your new book. All right. Bye.
All right. Bye. All right. Wow. Interesting hand. It just went raise, 3-bet, 4-bet, and I'm sitting on ace, king of hearts.
Hello.
I'll just fold. What's up? Welcome to the Mouthpiece.
Hi, this is Matt from Pennsylvania.
What's up, Matt from Pennsylvania?
Hey, Mike, one of the things I used to love watching, and you were the last champion of it, was the NBC Heads Up Poker Championships. I wish they'd bring that back. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's coming back. It's coming back here. Well, it's supposed to come back in August. I don't know when it's going to come back, but High Stakes Poker's coming back. NBC Head Up's coming back. The only thing is they're thinking about making it 50K buy-in instead of 25, which I think is totally ridiculous. They're just
well, in my opinion, as the current reigning champion, the reigning champion shouldn't have to pay for it. They should get an automatic buy-in because they're the last champion. That's you.
Yeah, no, I'm all for that. But
I'm pretty sure they do that with the World Series main event champion. They get the automatic buy-in the next year. So why not the Heads Up Championship?
Yeah. So I definitely think that would be nice, of course, but I really think that they should put keep it at 25,000. I think that it's stupid to go to 50,000. I'll
tell you what, the year you won it, you couldn't have scripted it better. You against Telemuth, I mean, that's must-watch TV. Heads Up for the championship. That was phenomenal. My two favorite poker players going at it. It was great TV.
Yeah, it really was.
I loved you razzing them. I loved how you got under his skin. That was so funny.
Yeah, that was before we were really good friends. We were still good acquaintances.
Well, you know how it works on the poker table. When you're on the poker table, it's every man for himself.
Yeah, and we're good friends now. I probably wouldn't talk as much. I still talk shit to him because it's just Phil, But it's not like.
Well, you're good friends. He probably knows you're razzing him, but it's funny because how the littlest things will set him off.
I took it a little bit too far during NBC Head Up, but that's okay. Yeah,
you and the grinder, you're cheerleading you on. That was hilarious.
Yeah, that was right before my injury, man. That was when I had that's when I thought my life was the worst after Full Tilt, not knowing that the next 5 years was about to bring me. So
I still don't, for the life of me, I still don't understand how those players who were involved in that didn't pay the price, go to prison, something. I mean, what they did was just absolutely ridiculous, screwing everybody over, making all the pros look ridiculous, doing what they did. I just don't understand it. It blows my mind.
Instead they wanted to tell everybody, put blame around. You know what I'm saying? They're putting all the blame around.
I mean, you know as well as I do, if it wasn't for those certain people, I don't even like to say their names, those two players in particular, screwing around along with that Batar guy, Full Tilt would still be open today, probably.
Yeah, I mean, they lied to me. They said they put $500 million away because they owed me a lot of money in case we lose the U.S. market, and that was all a lie because they didn't have any money. So they kind of screwed me. Instead, they were throwing my name under the bus.
They screwed a lot of people over. A lot of people didn't get their money from that website. Oh my God.
Well, I mean, they just bluffed, or they just like with when I thought PokerStars was getting when they bought it from them, I thought that they were going to settle all the accounts. I had 300,000 online at Full Tilt, and unfortunately for me, they never paid me. They just
that's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, for some people, that kind of money is like life-changing money, and it's just gone just like that. Like that. Some people would probably have a heart attack if they lose that kind of money, you know?
Yeah, and the truth of the matter is I I borrowed money from somebody expecting to get paid from PokerStars, and I never got paid. And
I'll tell you what, I loved watching the videos of Daniel Negreanu ranting and raving and toasting them when they did what they did. He was fired up.
Yeah. And
I'll tell you what,
then Moneymaker.
All right.
I'll tell you what, what do you call it? That Poker After Dark, that was a good show. I really enjoyed watching that show. Even when I was back in high school years and years ago, back in the early 2000s, I would stay up just to watch the show because they had it on so late. I really enjoyed watching it.
Yeah, well, Poker After Dark and High Stakes Poker is coming back right after the summer, so it's going to be a lot of fun.
You were pretty good on High Stakes Poker. You're a pretty good cash player. I noticed.
I was the second biggest winner on High Stakes Poker. You know, people used to always say, "Why do I play so tight?" Right? But I didn't have to play. I mean,
you were setting them up. I know how you play.
Yeah, and plus they never they would always pay me. You know what I'm saying? So it's like if it'd be one thing if I fold for 2 hours and I enter a pot and they all folded. No, they'd get 5 people call me every time. What do they think? Like I'm just going to I'm going to stack off with aces on an 8, 9, 10 board. You know,
exactly.
It was just stupid. You know, so I ended up being the second biggest winner on High Stakes Poker. I was second biggest winner on High Stakes Poker.
Whatever happened to like some of these guys I don't even see anymore, like Ted Forrest? Like I don't know, some of these guys went into the witness protection program. You don't see him playing anymore.
Well, Ted showed his face this year for the first time in a couple of years at LAPC. He's got a 2-year-old, 3-year-old kid, and so he's living on the East Coast. He's doing much better. So
how about Sheiky?
Sheiky's running a pot business out in California.
Why am I not surprised?
Of course. Yeah. So
that's phenomenal.
Yeah. All right, we got to go. We got another call. I appreciate you calling in, man. Mike. Thanks for calling the Mouthpiece. Appreciate it. Later. Well, one more call there. Fucking computer.
Yo, what's up?
Welcome to the Mouthpiece. This is Mike. Who's this?
Hey, what's happening? It's Frank from Georgia. What you doing, bro?
What's up, Frank? How's it going down there in Georgia? Quarantine like the rest of us?
Miserable. Yeah, man. Miserable.
Yeah.
Stuck
it
in
ain't.
the house.
You don't even know what miserable. The country will know what miserable is next 2 weeks. That's gonna be miserable.
Yeah, tell me about it, dude.
I mean, when the death count goes from
politics and shit.
Yeah, when death count goes from 3,800 to about 50,000 in the next 2 weeks. You know.
I know, right? I'm scared. I mean, we live in a bigger city, dude. It's like shit goes bad. I bought 1,000 rounds of ammo and a couple ARs. So
I don't blame you, man. I wanted to get me a fucking gun, you know, because I know. See, that's what people don't understand. Like Trump said, 15 days.
Message me. I got plenty.
Yeah, Trump said 15 days to stop the spread. He knew it was going to be another 30, but he can't sit there and tell people 2 months.
For another 2
people
months,
are so dumb. There's no way he could go and tell people it's going to be 2-3 months. There'll be fucking looting all the fucking everything in the streets. There'll be fucking anarchy.
So he had to go 2
Yeah,
weeks,
100%,
right?
man. That'll event it like a
Right.
civil war, probably. You know what I'm
Of
saying?
course. And
Social
now
uprising.
30 days and he's like telling everybody this many people are going to die, which probably not going to be anywhere near that, but he's got people scared to stay in their house without causing a panic. You understand what I'm saying? He's actually
Yeah, I feel
doing
you,
a
man.
perfect job on that part. There's a lot of things he's done I don't like, but as far as when that goes, when I hear people say, "Oh, he has to be honest with the American people," no, he doesn't. He can't sit there and tell the American people like the ass fucking
You
Virginia.
can't please everybody, man, no matter what.
Yeah,
I'm sure you heard that
the
story about the
ass
donkey.
fucking Virginia. Oh, it's a lockdown till June 10th. I'm surprised they're not rioting there already. You know what I'm saying? You can't
Yeah,
do that.
true
You got to
that.
ease people into it, okay? Because this way they're scared. They know they have to stay home. They keep saying one more week, instead of going out saying fuck this. But after like 2 months, they're going to go out and say fuck this, and then it could get ugly. So
Yeah, exactly.
that
Hey,
and the
let me
fact
ask you a question, bro. You were talking about playing on like the Poker 2 app or whatever.
Yeah.
I got a tournament tonight. Would you be interested if I let you free roll it and play in?
I have a big game I'm playing with a bunch of people tonight at 6:00, which has already started. I told them I'd be late. But leave me a direct message on my Twitter. And I don't know, do I follow
Okay.
you or no?
No, I
If
don't
not,
know. I'll request you and I'll send it.
Yeah,
or whatever.
request
I mean,
it. I'll
it's
go
not
look at
big.
your
It's
thing, and
$100
just
free
say
though, but
just
I
say
mean,
you
if I get
call.
you in,
Yeah,
we'll
say you
probably
called
have
in on the
200
show.
players.
Okay. Oh, 200 players. Yeah, I'll probably play that. So yeah,
Yeah,
just
cool. What do you call it? Cash App, Zelle, Venmo, or whatever. I'll settle up with you.
yeah, that's
Take
what
it
we've been
down or
doing.
whatever.
Yeah,
Shit's
sounds
super
good.
easy on there, man. I guess people don't know really how to play online, dude. Just like attack non-wet boards and stuff and paired boards and stuff. People just
Yeah.
back off so light. It's awesome.
Yeah, it is. I've been playing online like the last few days, and I've always said online poker is not anywhere close to what regular poker is, and I still believe that. But I'm still able to play somewhat solid. The thing is when we're playing live, they can't. Whenever they make a move on me, I see it. I just pick up on things, and I just don't do that online. And
Well, yeah,
so I'm
that's the
not.
thing online, to be honest with you. I mean, you're playing in the comfort of your home, and it's not like back in the day when we used to do it for a living or whatever. Now it's like a pastime, and honestly, like I'm not stacking off with top pair because you could find so many better spots.
Of course, you always look for better spots. I mean, like when I just right now I'm on the podcast, right? Like one of the livest ones in the game raises or early position raise. One of the livest ones 3 bets, and now the guy in the small blind 4 bet to 892. I had ace king of hearts in the big blind. I just folded. Came ace
Yeah,
5-8.
absolutely. Well, I mean, if he's cold
I
four
would.
betting there, you know his range.
Yeah.
I mean, you're at best flipping.
I mean, I would have won. I would have won the pot, unfortunately, but I can't call it. I can't go raise 3-bet, 4-bet, and be called with ace king. I mean, I mean, there's not going to be there's nobody's 4-betting light in a 9-handed ring game. You know what I mean? Especially
Yeah,
under the gun
100%.
raise. So I should probably.
Is that a tournament or cash?
Cash. He probably had 2 kings and then an ace came, went check, and then he checked, and the guy palmed it on the turn in the river. He said he
Yeah,
bluffed
but
it.
even
I'm
if
sure
he's
he
at the
did.
bottom of his range, I mean, was he gonna have jacks, tens? You know what I'm saying?
He's got queens or kings. There's not a doubt in my mind. He could have the same hand.
Yeah, for sure.
The way he played it, he had queens or kings because he called the turn and then folded the river for 3,200. So
like I don't play much poker much anymore, to be quite honest with you, but I've been playing, online since we've been quarantined. And I just, dude, I realize how bad people play. Like, I don't study anymore, but I still remember, like, or like charts for, like, how to play 20 big blinds, 15, 10 big blinds and stuff. And I was getting in spots last night playing to where, like, I got 10 big blinds and I know I'm supposed to jam in this spot, but I could min raise or make it 1.2, 1.2, 1.3x and fold to a jam because
let me tell you,
I know they're not going to be
I
jamming
tell
light
people
on
all
me.
the time, the GTO players, they're all like, 10 big blinds, you got to jam ace 8 of spades, like on the button or in the cutoff. But let me tell you something. When you have 10 big blinds,
Isn't that
and
how you busted the LAPC or whatever?
Yeah, no, that's how I busted the main event this year by shipping. It was a big mistake, and but like if you min raise it, I mean, you know how strong a min raise looks with 10 big blinds. I mean, what looks
Yeah,
stronger,
absolutely, because a lot of
a
people in
ship
that
or a
spot,
min
they're
raise?
jamming. They're min raising their premiums. You know what I'm saying? The top 5% of their range, and then jamming everything else or whatever. It's subjective. It just looks 10 times stronger.
I agree. So, there's so many things I do that the GTO players don't do. And I keep getting there.
But you talk like GTO, like to be honest, I know a lot of GTO players that aren't that great, man. But then you look at people like Connor Drennan, who's like he's talented and he's like he's probably the best satellite player in the world. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. If you're talented and you know all the GTO, that turns you into a monster. So that's kind of the reason why I have a friend that's teaching me it now. It's I don't want to put it into my game because I think it's destructive for my game. But I just want to know what everybody else is doing. And
I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, kind of.
I busted a WSOP last week, and I knew I had like Jack second kicker on a King Jack board. They went check. I told my friend, I was on the phone with him. He's like, you can't fold, man. The math says you got to call. I said, I can fucking fold. Don't tell me what the math fucking says. Fucking, I go, the guy's never raising and fucking checking back a fucking dry board. On King Jack.
Oh, I remember that hand you talked about, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and he had King Jack, and I lost most of my chips in the hand with it, and it's just.
I always said this about Phil Hellmuth. I think me and you talked about it on like one of the earlier podcasts. Like, people would talk shit about him. I even talk shit about him, to be honest with you. I'm not gonna lie about him, like playing like his short stack play. When like he will, I seen him raise fold, 7 big blinds, 8 big blinds, or whatever, to where people would say, "Oh my God, that's so horrible. That's a big leak in his game." But results don't lie.
Not if you read as good as he does. It's not a leak in his game.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. I think he plays great against like bad players. You know what I'm saying? I mean, his results doesn't lie.
No, I agree. He plays great against bad players.
I don't think he could do shit like that. And high rollers, obviously, that's why he doesn't play.
Yeah, of course. But
he's probably the most PUBG player in a $1,500 event.
Yeah. I mean, I finally talked him into working with my friend about improving those situations. So he's fine. See, the thing is, like I told him, you want to be considered the greatest player in the world. You need to work on your game. You need to do this, this, and this to understand what's going on. And it took me a lot of talking to him to do this. So, hopefully from there he will. But,
Moneymaker time.
Okay, we got to call Chris Moneymaker. I appreciate the call. Have a good one.
All right, take care, bro. I'll message you on Twitter.
You got it.
Peace.
Yep. All right.
The Mouthpiece.
So now we're going to give Chris Moneymaker a call and see how he's doing during this interview, during this lockdown. His internet's not working.
What's up, Mike?
What up? What up? Chris Moneymaker. Welcome to the Mouthpiece. How's it going, my man?
How you doing, brother?
I'm doing pretty good. Playing a little online poker. Having fun. Getting ready to talk to you. Your internet's been out all day. God, that's brutal. How long's your internet been out?
Just today. It hasn't been too bad. It's been a nice day outside, so spent most of the day outside. We actually drove around today for the first time in like 20 days. Went and got some meat and stuff that we just need to stock up on. So kind of just saw that everything where we are is basically life as normal. Nothing's shut down, and everybody's just going about doing their own thing.
Where are you at? Tennessee?
I'm just outside of Memphis. I'm down in Mississippi. They just did a stay-at-home order starting Friday at 5. Yeah. So hopefully that'll cause people to change and stay at home.
Yeah. Well, that's good to hear. That's, it's going to go around to everywhere. I don't think it'll be as bad in a lot of places. But it's like, it's not just the United States, it's the world. So it's like, so it feels like it's just the United States, but it's the whole world. I mean, it's scary times, I never.
It is. It's definitely, unfortunately, we have a long time in front of us probably between this and what it's going to do to the economy and climate, and all, we got all kinds of fun stuff in front of us, unfortunately.
Yeah, absolutely. It's we definitely got a lot in front of us.
But we'll survive.
Yep, we will survive. So, what's
So
been going on with Chris
what's going on
Moneymaker,
the
man?
podcast?
What, you've been playing a
I mean,
lot of
I was
poker?
doing a lot of stuff with Poker Stars up until the virus hit. I actually was supposed to be in Sochi when everything got shut down. I was supposed to be going to the EPT out there, and since the shutdown, started a home game on Poker Stars and doing some Poker Stars VR. And then outside of that, just doing a lot of, I've got 3 kids at home, so we're doing homeschool and riding bikes and trying to get outside and, all the stuff that my wife wanted me to do that I could never get around to. It's having time to get it done. So it's been, it hadn't been that bad, honestly. We've got pretty good internet, and we've got DirecTV, Netflix, and all that good stuff. So we've been watching a lot of movies, watching a lot of TV, and working on our sports. The kids are working on their sports and making sure that, they're staying current with that. So, I mean, the kids have taken it really well, which is really surprising. And my wife may have gone a little stir crazy. She flipped the bedroom around one day, but other than that, I mean, it's been pretty easy.
Oh, so you're on the good end of the spectrum.
Unfortunately, we have a long way to go, I think.
Yeah, I really think that. I mean, the NBA says they're not starting till June 8th in Las Vegas with no fans. So with that said, you see Virginia saying a lockdown of June 10th, which I think is really, really dumb because it could start a panic. We all know. I mean, the president knows. Everybody knows how long it's going to be, but they're just trying to go 2 weeks at a time. Now a month, because they can't just say it's going to be 2-3 months.
Smooth this into it.
Yeah, you can't have.
You got to gradually work us into it.
Yeah, exactly. And so I get pissed off at the media when they're like, "Oh, she should tell us the truth, how long it's going to be," instead of beating around. I'm like, don't these people understand that you got fucking 300 something million people locked in your house, right? If the criminals are scared to go out, which crime's down 40%, and you put another month and you tell everybody, if everybody doesn't stay out inside, 100 to 200,000 people are going to die. Now they're really going to be scared to go out. But guess what? In a month from now, when that 30 days is up, all of a sudden they're going to be like, fuck this. We got to get money to eat. You see what I'm saying? So I really felt that 4 to 6 weeks would be tough. And it's going to, we're very fortunate. We don't have to worry about what the rest of the world has to worry about. And, but my heart goes out to all these people that work week to week and, basically don't have anything to worry about. They have to worry about getting food on their table. You know what I mean? So.
Well, yeah. I mean, I just had a friend get laid off today. I just found out today he got laid off, and I've got a good buddy. He's been doing really well for a while. He's got 23 rental properties, but he doesn't really know what's going to happen there. I mean, if they don't pay rent, I mean, it's not like he can't pay the more. He's going to have to work it out with the bank to not pay mortgages and on 23 separate houses. I mean, it's just
supposedly they're not going to evict anybody, and they're going to give people. I mean, from what I've read, 90 days where they're no evicting and none of that. So I mean, I'm just hoping.
Yeah, well, I'm not. I don't think no one's worried about being evicted, but he's saying I'm not going to evict anybody, but if no one pays for 90 days, a lot of my renters, they can't pay back, be stuck 90 days behind, where the bank, will work with them. But I mean, they're not going to just wipe those 3 months off. He's going to have to go back and pay those 3 months. And I mean, if those renters can't pay it, I mean, he's going to have to pay it. So it just, it's quite a bit of money over a 3 month period potentially, or longer.
No,
it's just a weird time all the way around.
The thing is what we need to worry the economic, and this is kind of I wouldn't want to be Trump for all the money in the world, the economic fallout is. I mean, he's got to balance the economy, right, and then he's got to get people paid all at the same time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So,
well, this is the rub. I mean, if we would have acted a little bit sooner, we could have, it's a balancing act, but whatever. We're in it now where this is what we're going to be doing, and we just got to make the best of it and, find different ways to keep ourselves busy, keep ourselves sane. Like I said, I've got it pretty fortunate that, I've got some property the kids can go out on. We go swim in the pool and do some things, and, it's not going to be too difficult for us, but I can imagine, people that have lost jobs and cramped small apartments. I mean, I can only, people that can't eat right now. I mean, it's a scary time for people, and we're trying to help out where we can and do what we can to get to the people. I mean, I stocked up relatively early because I saw it coming, but we gave away all of our supplies. We had all these masks and everything, but we just brought them all up to the hospital and gave them away, and we've been giving toilet paper out to people in the church that just didn't stock up. So, but at the same time, we're going to have to start being careful because, again, we don't know how long this could last. We haven't had toilet paper in our city in, 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah. I just scooped the guy for 37.
It's got to be weird, Vegas being shut down.
Oh, my God. It's empty as can be. I mean, absolutely empty as can be. I mean, there's not a.
So are the lights on the strip? Like, do you go down the strip and are the lights on, or are they like minimal lights, or like?
They turn for like 10 minutes. The Paris, the Eiffel Tower for the Paris for the hospital workers, but that's it. It's just.
So you drive down the strip at night. It's almost pitch black except for like the street lights.
Yeah, I mean they have all the lights of the casinos are all off. Yeah, it's pretty bad.
That's just creepy.
No, yeah.
And I guess a lot of people don't really live down there either. Most people lived out in Henderson, and there's not a whole lot of like people that actually live down there near the strip. I wouldn't imagine. So it's mostly a tourist destination.
Yeah, but it's also but like the workers, so many people who work, in the what's it called industry, people that work.
I know some casinos are taking care of their employees. I don't know how they are. I haven't seen how they're all doing it, but I know some of them are. But again, kind of the struggles that we're looking at now.
Yeah.
So what were you up to until, I feel like I'm interviewing you here. What were you doing up until the shit hit the fan, I guess?
Okay, so the shit started to hit the fan, right? And I was going to Bay 101. And they were like, my girl didn't want me to go. I'm like, there was 7, this is 3.5 weeks. It'll be, so it was 3 weeks ago Monday, right, that I was there. It was I got there on March 10th, right? They didn't want me to go. And I was like, there's 792 cases. There's 1 death in the United States. What do you guys are out of your fucking minds, and I got there Monday. I went to Helmuth's house Tuesday. It feels like I'm not playing. I'm like, really? You're not playing? I'm like, are you that much of a pussy? I'm like, really? There's 26 cases in San Jose out of like 4 million people. I'm like, what are you talking about? Right? Well, there's probably 10 times more. Okay. So let's say there's 10 times more. What are the chances of you getting it? So I go, I had a good feeling, I go there, and I'm not going to lie. I really believe the virus was real, but how the media, I really thought it was a fucking Democrat media hoax too. I really did. I thought that, and I still believe that they are making it, they're doomsday, the doomsday cults, I call them. Right. So, but then, when I'm sitting there, the tournament started on Wednesday, they started the NBA shuts down Wednesday night, right? I'm like, okay. I'm still not convinced because the NBA is run by China, but Nike runs the NBA. So I was like, okay. I'm still not convinced it was for real. And then all the other sports leagues the next day ceased. Then they closed California. And when they closed California, I said, all right, this is way worse. You know what I mean? And then the one guy I follow, Scott Adams, I don't know if you follow him on Twitter. It's a great follow. He said, he said, anybody that keeps saying that this is just the flu, please unfollow me. And I was one of those people that was saying it was just the flu, So that's
Trust
when
me, I tweeted at you way back in January saying it's not the flu. Wake up. I mean, I realized it was serious when China shut down. China's never shut down. It's never happened. They've never gone down on quarantine. I mean,
And
they
that
went
was the
through H1N1
weird part
and
about
SARS. What's that?
Tucker said when it happened how bad it was. He was saying, like Fox, they were saying how bad it was. Now, you got to remember the whole impeachment thing was going on until like the 24th of February. So, like, I'll just never forget Tucker would say, they don't care if our leaders don't care if you die. This is a terrible virus we have coming. And all they want to talk about is impeachment when they already know what the results are. Right. So he was really pushing this. And so I kept thinking to myself, well, I'm like, I know China shut down, but there's no sign of cases anywhere. And then the next thing you know, Italy happens on March 1st. And then all of a sudden, believe it or not, I mean, if you go by the China models of 80,000 infected and 3,000 people die in a country that big, you're thinking maybe it's as bad as SARS, right? But then when Italy happened, and then it's just like I tell people this all the time. I do not believe any way, shape, or form. Now, I know Trump's a bullshitter or whatever, that he's going to be telling all his supporters at a rally that there's nothing to worry about and this is a media-driven hoax, okay? Unless he was given bad information by people who want to take him down, which is most likely, or B, Xi Jinping telling him everything was going to be fine, and he was being either way. Somebody had to be lying to him because he really went from one extreme to the next in like a 24-hour period. You know what I mean?
Yeah. See, the thing is, the problem is I'm not the smartest guy in the world, but I follow guys like Bill Perkins and some of these other guys that I do find very smart. And when they start waving the red flag back in January, and you don't have to be that bright to see if China is shutting down their whole country. I don't care if they're lying, telling you the right numbers or not. That's enough information for you as a president or you as a person to see that this is more serious than what they're letting on. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out. So bad information, no information, whatever it is. When China shuts down their entire country, you got to be smart enough to know it's not a hoax. It's not. You don't have to. I don't have to have someone hand me a piece of paper to tell you
Absolutely.
that this is a bad situation.
But I just believe that the world.
We can talk politics all day long. Unfortunately, I don't know how many people want to listen to it. You're more of a Trump guy, and I'm not a Democrat, but I'm just an anti-Trump guy. So
I'm not.
I think I'm sort of anti-everything.
It's not like I'm a Trump guy. It's just
you are fake news.
I just the thing is I'm a person that doesn't like when news or people in the poker world that are not educated on what's going on will post something, okay, that is completely false. That is just a Democrat talking point. Now, there's lots of points that I have been able to say that I could post that could also be put as a Republican talking point, but I've tried my hardest not to do that, just basically show when somebody puts something up that's not true. Here's the other side of the argument. So it's more of a debate for me. People think I'm a very Trump supporter. I hate so many things that he does. Okay. But I am a supporter of his policies, and his policies have made this country amazing up until this virus hit. So that's basically where I am on that. So, but I just, listen,
fair enough.
It's just, I
just don't know how someone can. I don't know. I can't see how someone can lie like he does and just say I didn't say that when it's literally on video that he said it. He lies every day and then says he didn't say it 2 minutes later. It's just.
No, there's a lot of those
that's
things.
For another time.
But the thing is, and this is what I learned the most, is I could show you like 6 other situations where the top leaders on the left who go after him, and they said that they were lying on video 2 weeks earlier also. So it works both ways. That's all I'm trying to say. But let me go back to you.
Again, that's why. I'll be honest. I voted for Trump over Hillary.
Right.
I actually voted Libertarian, but I would have voted Trump over Hillary because I think he was the lesser of two evils back then.
I still believe
to be
that.
honest, he might be the lesser of two evils now. I don't know. I mean, if it's Sanders or him, I'm going to vote Trump.
I mean, did you see the tweet she put out? Like when America got to 100,000 cases, she put out, he did say America first. I mean, that's the most evil fucking tweet like anybody could put out. Like she got destroyed by the liberal media and the right wing media. I just couldn't even believe.
Yeah, we can do something like that. She can't.
Yeah, I just couldn't even believe she did that. But let's get off politics a little bit. So let's since I like to always tell the story. So, before I met you, when you were getting to the final table of the World Series, my favorite story to tell is me, Howard Letter, and Eric Seidel were eating at a Vietnamese restaurant for dinner.
God bless Chris Moneymaker.
God bless Chris Moneymaker. You're right. Good job, computer. So we were eating, and you were at the final table, and I said to this is the truest statement ever. I said to Eric
I can't believe a donkey's going to win the World Series.
I said I can't believe another idiot's going to win the World Series, and fucking this is his exact words to me were, Mike, if this guy wins the World Series, you're going to be richer than you ever dreamed you could be. And you know what? I would have been richer than I could ever dreamed I could be when you won it, if all bad things didn't happen. But he was right. You know what I mean? And that's when the poker took off. And I'm not going to lie, Chris. I mean, when they said this guy named Moneymaker was like three-handed, I'm like, is that his nickname? I didn't even know there was somebody who had a last name, Moneymaker. And I said to myself, what a dream this is. Guy wins a satellite, he's playing for the World Series, and his last name is Moneymaker. So I was a little bit shocked. I thought that was a joke, to be honest with you.
Yeah, you and everybody else. That's why, the most common question I ever get asked is that your real last name. I mean, I get it.
Yeah.
15 years later.
I remember your dad rooting there on the sidelines. He was like, man, he was really engaged too. I mean, you were locked in, man. It's like, it's kind of like when I got in the zone when I won NBC Head Up in 2013. It was without a doubt the greatest tournament I ever played. You were in that zone, man. And those zones are tough to get to nowadays because there's so many good players. But when you get to them, they're a lot of fun to be in. A lot of fun.
No doubt. Yeah, I kept losing to Eric Seidel in NBC Heads Up. He got me like 3 years in a row, so I just don't want to ever see him again.
It's funny when
he got me in the round of 16, he got me in the round of 32, the round of 16, and they got me in the finals. Could just never beat him.
What's funny is when I won it, and we played 6 matches, I played 3 coin flips in 6 matches. Most people were playing like 6 coin flips a match. And what I did is I got to realizing that there was a lot more play than you really got to realize. You know what I mean? And a lot of people kind of rush. I thought there was so much play. And then when you get, it's really weird. So the first match, like when you get whatever you start with, and then you get double chips the next match, and double chips the next match. Now, the blinds go up just as much, but you feel like you're deeper, even though you're really not. And I look back at the first matches, and like those matches would go, like when I played Seaver in the semifinals, we played a 2.5 hour head up match, and he was the toughest opponent I ever played in my life. And I played above the rim, and I still had to get lucky to win. I mean, I got it in with ace 10 versus jack 10. He flopped a jack. But I told him, I said, I had a dream. I won this tournament that an ace was coming, and an ace came on the river. But, but that was a lot of fun,
It's the year that I got second, the guy I had in my second round, I played Somerville in my first, and I had Jungle Man in my second. Mm-hmm. And I was so obliterated and hungover when I was playing against Jungle Man that I just wanted to get the match done. I could have cared less if I won or lost at that point. I mean, I was just hurting so bad. And I said, I'm just going to play this guy as fast as I possibly can and put as much pressure on him as I can. And I think that's probably the only way I beat him.
Right.
I ran pretty good, and I was just aggressive as hell.
I read something like you don't drink anymore, right? Or very little?
No, I don't drink anymore. I stopped, did enough of it, went through that phase, and just decided that, if you do it long enough, I guess I don't know. I just didn't enjoy it anymore. Honestly, like
Yeah.
I'd wake up and I'd have the flu for 2 days or 3 days, and I would just be
Right.
worthless, and it's just no fun. So I thought I just didn't want to feel like that anymore. As much as I enjoyed the feeling of having that, the intoxication feeling, I did not enjoy the 2 days that followed. So
Well, yeah.
decided,
Well,
I
that
guess it's
reminds
been
me.
about 2 years.
Yep. That reminds me, back to my ecstasy days. When you went out and you did a little ecstasy on Saturday, and then you got depressed on we used to call it Black Tuesday. And when that depression Tuesday outweighed the fun of Saturdays, that's when I said I had to quit. And then I quit cold turkey everything, and haven't any I quit doing drugs July 23rd of 26th of 2003, and I think I've had maybe 10 drinks since. I don't drink. I've never been a drinker, and I try and help out, like Chino. He's got all the talent in the world, right? And he had all the top chips at the Bay 101, and he grenaded him again. And everybody kept saying that he's going to grenade him again. He's going to grenade him again. I'm like, no, he's locked in. I played 5 hours with him. He's playing really good. He ain't going to grenade him. They're like, he'll grenade him again. Sure enough, I finished 15th. I grenaded a million chip pot. Just made a mistake, and then he finishes 13th right behind me, and he had a million chips more than me. And then I find out what he did, and then me and Mark Newhouse took me back to my hotel and drove him back wherever. And Chino was kind of depressed, and I said, "Listen, man, you want to get married and have kids one day?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "How old are you?" He says, 40. And I said, "Well, when are you going to grow the fuck up? When are you going to quit partying? When are you going to stop drinking, doing drugs, fucking, and fucking realize, and how many times you want to grenade your chip stacks, And he's like, "Yeah, you're right. I want to quit." I'm like, he showed up an hour and a half because he partied all night and didn't sleep, And it's just like when you're playing poker, you're supposed to be going to bed. If you have to be up at 10 o'clock in the morning for a tournament, you should be in bed by midnight, up at 8 o'clock, working out, eating right. You got to put your priorities straight. I said, how many tournaments are you going to
Well, yeah, when you get to our age, when we could do it back in the day, it was different.
Right.
I mean, we used to be able to go out and do what these young kids do, but I mean, unfortunately, your body just doesn't work that way after a point.
Exactly.
You got to get rest, and you got to take care of yourself.
Yeah, and so.
And I mean, unfortunately, Chino, us, I mean, we're all in that point where.
Right.
I mean, we're not machines. We can't go out and party all night and play the next day like we used to.
No, you can't. And, and then you're dealing with 21, 22-year-old kids that are taking Adderall, and they're focused and they're grinding day after day. And, you got to be focused. And, I never thought a guy over 40 would win the main event again, but the guy who won last year, this was a different animal. This guy was 55 years old that works out 3 hours a day, 7 days a week. I mean, that's the type of person. That's why I know that I got to get in shape, and I got to be like the best year I had at the World Series was 2008 when I won the No Limit Deuce and I finished 30th in the main. I lost 100 pounds that year. It was my first weight loss bet with Ted. I went from 240 to 179 and 61 pounds, whatever it was. And I was running 8 miles a day. And let me tell you something, my head was clear every day. So it makes a difference. And I know if we're gonna want to put ourselves in that position again, I know how hard you're gonna have to work. So what have you been doing with yourself? You still working at Poker Stars? I saw that. That's good to hear. Have you playing much poker?
I was playing a ton of poker up until the virus hit, and then it's kind of just stopped. I mean, again, I've got a home game and I play some VR. It's all free money stuff, but for the most part, I'm on essentially hold until this virus goes away. I mean,
right. And what were you playing over in Tennessee? Were you playing live or online?
Mostly live, doing a Moneymaker tour. We're giving away platinum passes and doing things of that nature. But yeah, it was just traveling around the country doing that kind of stuff. And
yeah, I saw you were doing some Texas.
It was a cool little gig. I enjoyed that stuff.
Yeah, me too. I saw you were doing some of the new Texas card rooms. Phil just bought a piece of a few of them, and he's going to start doing meetup games. He asked me to go with him. I saw you did a few of them.
Which ones did he buy into?
I'm not exactly sure. They are in Texas. I saw you were at one of
Yep.
them. So I was wondering how did that go?
That's good. I mean, obviously right now it's not, but the card rooms down there are fun places. It's you don't have casinos down there, but the card rooms. I mean, it's just like walking into a casino without all the pit games. So
And
I mean,
what
it's a
they
nice
charge?
atmosphere. It's good. And
Yeah, they charge to
sorry?
get in these places. Is that what they do? With no rake? Is that what they do?
Yeah, no, there's no rake. It's a time fee. So you're basically it's like a country club model. So you're paying to be a part of a country club, and you're paying by the hour to be in that country club. And they used to rent the actual seats, but you can't do that. You actually have to pay to be inside the building. So once you're inside the building, you pay anywhere between $10 to $16 an hour, depending upon the place that you're playing at. And you can play 1-2 or you can play 20-40, and it costs the same rate. So if you're a bigger player, it works out pretty well. If you're playing 1-2, I mean, you can get it's still not bad. I mean, I think it's $10 an hour, something like that, maybe $15 an hour, which isn't the end of the world.
Yeah.
For tournaments, I know they have to do something different. Tournaments could get pretty dicey. I don't know how they work the tournaments.
They're going to have to figure out what get around because I believe Texas is going to be the next big poker boom. I mean, we had the Florida when they went from $100 max bet to opening. The first year there, the games were unbelievable.
Well, Texas already has 50 rooms down there at least. I mean, they've already had their boom. They're having their boom. I mean, you go down there and the PLO games are just insane. The Omaha eight or better games are insane. There's a lot of good games down there, and it's just like Florida was. I mean, you go down there and you can kind of print money if you played 4-card games. I mean, people saw the 2-card games a little bit.
I got invited to a Big O game down there. My friend told me that if I couldn't make $100,000 a week, I couldn't make $1. He plays in this Big O game. It's 50 and 100, 200 or something. And I'm just like, wow, please get me in this game. And then another one told me that they're even playing like PLO 8, like 50 and 100, but private game. But because I'm a celebrity, so they could get me in it. I'm like, man, just get me in it like twice a month. Then I don't have to worry about paying bills, But
yep. Yeah. And I liked going down there in Texas. I made really, really good money on every trip down there, just playing some PLO and PLO 8, and then it just sort of stopped. I was actually looking at opening up a room down there, and I'm glad I didn't right now. But
well, the whole world's going to struggle here for the next 2 months is going to be the hardest 2 months the country's ever gone through, the most pain the world's ever gone through. And the only thing good about it is the whole world is all going through it, so it's not just us. And so I really hope that something like this will bring the country together. If it doesn't, I think our country's in big trouble anyways, because if we can't unite around this, I don't know what we can unite around, right? I don't know.
Like I really don't.
Ever since this started, like honestly, I don't see left or right politics. I don't see poor or rich. I don't see anything. I just think the only thing I think about is caring about those people that work week to week, that have to put food on the table for a family of 4. I go to sleep every night thinking about that. I mean, I don't even think about that there's an election this year. It's like the farthest thing from my mind, So I know a lot of people, feel the same way, and then there's always going to be far left and far right people who are just going to keep pushing the fucking bullshit. But I just try and tell everybody it's not time for politics. It's time for all of us to unite and look after everybody. I mean, look at all these doctors and all these people on the front lines that are putting their lives on the line for us. It's, you know what I mean? These are big.
Yeah, the doctors, and you also, just the grocery store people. I mean, hell, they're putting it online just as much as anybody else almost.
Yeah, the truckers. I saw this thing about the truckers. Right now, they're having the biggest problem they're having is they're going out, right, but then they stop to get something to eat, and they can't go through the drive-through with their truck, and they used to like either walk in or walk up to the drive-through window, which they're not letting them. So they have to like literally go for people who are online in the drive-through and give them money to give them something. And everybody's been doing it, but it's kind of become a pain in the ass for them. They were saying, I wish there was something they could do different, because the truckers are just killing themselves,
Yeah.
My friend's an airline stewardess. She told me that like the planes are like they get or have like 6 people on them right now. I don't even know why airlines are even open. It makes no sense to me. But she says that most of their flights
Well,
now
unfortunately, the airlines have to fly the planes to keep their slots at the airports, which that makes no sense why they wouldn't shut that down. I'm sure they will at some point.
Yeah,
but,
I figured the end of this week that'll be gone. Yeah, but she was telling me.
No sense to
go ahead. Hello.
No, it's
Can
good.
You hear me?
Go ahead. Yep, I'm here.
Yeah. No, she was telling me that she had a plane full of truckers that they flew back to where they like. In other words, they have people who drive the truck from where they drop the groceries off back to get restocked, and then they're having the planes fly the truckers back to the other trucks. That's how they're keeping their supply chain going, which I had no idea about. So she says like we have full planes full of truckers that we fly right back to wherever they're getting all the groceries and stuff from. So the only thing I don't understand is the toilet paper thing. Maybe do you have any explanation of this, Chris?
I mean, I bought a ton of toilet paper in January. When I was seeing what China was going through, and I saw basically, I just did a bunch of research and watched YouTube stuff and saw that Clorox wipes and toilet paper were the things that were going off the shelves the fastest. So those are the two things I went and bought a ton of. And no, I don't have a good explanation for it, but I'm glad I did it because you can't find any.
It's
again,
crazy.
I don't understand really the explanation for it.
Yeah. I don't think anybody spends more time on the toilet than me, and I go through like one roll every like 10 days. So I don't understand if you have 4 people, that would be I still don't understand the fucking getting more than 16 rolls of toilet paper. But they said it's because somebody saw one person doing it, and so they thought that was the thing to do. But that'd be like the farthest thing from my mind would be that. But there's some funny memes
I'll be
going
honest,
around.
that's the reason I did. I saw them all flying off the shelves in other countries. So when I saw everything that was flying off the shelves, and I saw, I went out and got tons of water, which I didn't need a lot of bottled water, but I did that for different reasons. I got masks, I got gloves, I got some hazmat suits. I mean, I went and, my wife thought I was absolutely bonker nuts. I mean, she was looking at me like I've lost my mind because I'm never a prepper.
I thought everybody had lost their mind. So, yeah, if I was your wife, I'd have thought you lost your mind too.
Yeah, she was like, "What are you doing?" Then she started getting worried because she knows I'm not like this. I don't ever get worried about stuff like this, but
Right.
I do a lot. I'm a science guy. I like stuff like this, and
yeah,
I told her it's like the perfect virus coming to get us. It lasts long enough in the body and it hides in the body, but it still kills enough. That's like the perfect virus that we don't want to see.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of conspiracy theories. There's a lot of things. I'm a believer that I don't believe anything happens. That it's not a coincidence. I've done a lot of reading. I don't know. Do you do a lot of reading about stuff about this? Try and get the truth.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so you know about the event 201, right? Do you know what event 201 is?
Which event?
Okay, event 201.
Event 201. Maybe I don't read conspiracy theories too much. I just read.
That's not conspiracy.
I've been reading about.
So on event 201 was an event held by Bill Gates and had 5,000 people on December 1st in New York. It was a hypothetical world pandemic. Okay, hypothetical world pandemic. On December 15th, a guy named Dr. Tom Eagles, I think, did a video talking about Event 201 and how the country we could take on a major pandemic at any time. Now, I just don't. None of this. The Wuhan hadn't even happened yet, right? And they're talking about this. I don't believe these things happen for accidents. I just don't. You know, we're in the middle of the greatest economy of all time, and the only way to take it out was, you know, you cut off the head of the snake. You cut off the world. So I just don't believe it's, I just don't believe this is a coincidence. There's I could name like 5, 6 things that happen, and it just can't be a coincidence. Now, with that said, could it have been an accident? Yes, but no matter what happens, China covered it up. They didn't give the real data to people. If the real data was put out after this happened, we wouldn't be in this spot. That's the bottom line. So.
Well, I don't know. One thing I did read was the China's cell phone usage dropped 2.1 million people from the time that the virus started till it ended, and that's a pretty good indication if that's potentially the death rate.
Yeah, exactly. So, and again, it's just again, Trump was in an 18-month bitter trade war, which would have cost China $5 trillion. You put all these pieces together, and I mean, you've watched enough forensic files and shit to know that there's no such thing as coincidences. So, there's
always something going on in an election year. I mean, that's been pointed out time and time again. Every election year,
always.
There's some kind of turmoil going on. I mean, there's obviously, a lot of things that we don't understand, but I saw this virus coming, and I just knew it was going to be a bad one, and I still don't know. Obviously, no one knows how bad it will be, but I just know I'm just staying out of the way.
I blame myself for this because, the only political show I watch is Tucker Carlson, and Tucker said since middle of January, since the Wuhan explosion of 90,000 people, he has been praising every day on his show. We need to take this serious. We need to take this serious. All our leaders don't care if you die, but I do. He goes, they're passing this sham impeachment. Why the fuck the world is about ready to hit a major virus? And he would say it every fucking day on Fox. And so what really scares me is for him to be saying that every day, and the president to seem to not have a clue about it, means that A, he's evil and doesn't care, which I don't believe that, or B, people close to him, whether it's his intelligent people or the Lindsey Grahams of the world that were anti-Trump before he got in, or some people close to him in his circle, we're telling him different. Like if the intelligent community had to be telling him how bad it would be, he wouldn't be out doing rallies 3 weeks before saying it's a Democrat hoax. You know what I mean? So I do believe that, and he kept saying, I talked to Xi Jinping, and he assures me we have nothing to worry about, and that so I do believe he did talk to Xi Jinping, and Xi Jinping insisted he had nothing to worry about because they hid it from everybody. It's almost like they wanted it to happen. I don't know.
Yeah. Do you have user questions? Because we're getting back on the political side. I think we covered this once already.
I agree with you. Let's get off around in a circle. Let's get off of that. Yes. Do we have any computer? Do we have any questions from our?
We have listener questions.
We do. Let's play them.
Hey, Mike. This is Sammy. I was wondering if you could maybe ask Chris in 2003 when he was at the WSOP main event, what was the better feeling after the hand? When the ace came on the river to knock out Ivy with like 11 or 12 handed left, or when he put the bluff on me, heads up, he didn't quite win it, that hand, but it put him in a spot where he really couldn't lose. So, what was the best feeling between those two hands?
All right.
Well, first of all, that's not Sammy Farhall, so that's someone calling themselves Sammy. Sammy would never ask that question. And obviously, busting Ivy, which was obviously nice, but to be honest, I had no idea who Ivy was. I was completely oblivious to who anybody other than like 3 people were in the poker world. So when I busted Ivy, it was just some young kid with a bunch of chips. It didn't really matter to me whatsoever, other than we got to go to bed and come back the next day. But I was completely oblivious to who he was. So it was obviously getting away with the bluff was the most important.
Yeah, I remember Phil Hellmuth was deep. He was finished 15th. Jason beat him, got it in with jacks against Phil's queens and hit a jack. Jason was his last name, I forgot, but that was that same tournament. I remember that. And then I remember. I do remember the Ivy hand. I remember the eights.
Hello?
I think it was against Freddie's aces. Who was it that had the aces? You had eights. Oh, Humberto, right? Humberto, you had the eights. Flop the set against his aces. Is that it?
Yeah.
So yeah. Those are the hands I remember the most. So.
Yeah, well, a lot of people don't realize is I had Umberto 2-1 in chips on that hand. So
right.
Even if I were to lose, I still would have had plenty of chips. It obviously was a move that didn't work.
Right.
It worked, but it didn't work. But I still would have had plenty of life, even if I lose that hand.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's have some other questions.
Hey, good evening. This message, I want to talk to Mike the Mouth Mattisau, and I want to find out if he's had any legendary battles on the poker felt against world-renowned actor and Republican faithful Jimmy Woods. Can't wait to hear any stories. Go Mouth, go.
Okay, so me and James Woods are really good friends. He basically started playing poker about 7-8 years ago, and he was we became pretty good friends. His mom had just passed away. He was really down and out, and we went to dinner one day, and I knew what he was going through because I felt his pain, and he kind of needed a friend at the time, and I tried to help him a little bit with poker. And then Miami John's been teaching him mixed games. He used to be super juicy to come sit in a mixed game, but I noticed he'd been getting better. And then having Miami John on a couple of weeks ago, now I know why he's gotten better. But he's a great guy. He cares about people, no matter what his politics are. Even during the fires that they had in LA, he was helping people and rescuing animals, and he's got a good heart. So nothing bad to say about James. But I've played poker with him about 5 or 6 times, and he's never beat me. So
you talking about Jim Worth?
James Woods. James Woods.
Oh, James Woods. Okay, I was about to say. Yeah. Okay. I heard Jim Worth, which is a different person. But
have you played
I played with James Woods a few times.
Have you played against James at all?
I'm sorry?
Have you played against James at all?
Yeah, I played with James a few times. Yeah, I played with him a few times. I've actually had some really good conversations with him. I like James a lot. One of the funnier stories that I have was way back, I think it was 2004, we went out to dinner, and we went and played. We were playing poker. We were just playing like a 2-5 game. Me and James were sitting next to each other, and someone came up and said, "Can I have your autograph?" And James turned around like, they were asking for his autograph, and they looked at him and said, "Who are you?" And they were asking for my autograph.
That's so funny. That reminds me, we were at the airport one day, and somebody comes up and goes, Mike the Mouth. I was with Phil Hellmuth. He's sitting right next to me. And he goes, "Mike, can I get your autograph?" I give him my autograph, whatever. And he starts walking away. I go, "That's Phil Hellmuth. Do you want his?" And he goes, "Who?" Oh my God, Phil went crazy. You know how Phil is. He went nuts.
I could only imagine, Phil.
Oh man, it's funny shit. Okay, that computer. We got another question.
Hey, this question is Chris. Hey.
We can't hear it. Raise it. Computer, we can't hear it. I heard it was for Chris, but we can't hear it. Computer, play that question again.
Hey, who has the best poker face amongst the coronavirus task force? My vote is Mike Pence. I would not want to sit across from Mike Pence.
You know what? I'm going to go with Mike Pence. Probably has the greatest poker face in the coronavirus task force, only because he consistently fucking sucks fucking Trump's fucking asshole left and right, and he does it at least 10 times a day. So, and he does it with a straight face.
Yeah, well, I know Fauci or whatever has the worst.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Fauci has the worst. Trump has the second worst. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Mike Pence. He's the sharpest politician. He's been a politician the longest. So he just goes up there, just stays on message, politician wise, and then just I have a liberal friend that hates Trump's guts, and like we're texting, and whenever every time Trump gets on and Pence are up there, we're like every time Pence would like fucking suck fucking Trump's ass by giving him compliments, we would go ding, and every time Trump would say incredible, we would go ding, and at the end of the press conference one time we had like 23 dings, so we laughed a little bit about it. So all right, next question there, computer.
Hey Chris, I was just wondering, who's the best player in your home game?
Well, we don't have a home game anymore. We used to have a home game back in the day. Unfortunately, people thought that they won the main event too, and our 2-5 home game turned into a 25-50 and 50-100 home game, and basically all my friends got broke essentially. So the home game essentially died off, and most of my friends don't play poker now. I have a few friends that play, but the majority of my friends don't.
Yeah, smart. They're smart.
So it's not me.
Not you. All right. Computer, we got another question?
Yeah. That's all the questions for now.
All right. So,
sweet.
Listen, I'm on the assumption, and I don't care what anybody says. I think you're 100 times the player you are today than you were in 2003. Do you agree?
I think I was good for the time back then. I didn't know a lot of stuff, but neither did anybody else. I think if you're still playing this game after all these years, then you figured something out. So yes, I'm a much better player than I was, but I think every single person playing from that time is a much better player, because if you're still playing the game, you have to improve.
I agree 100%. I tell people, and I can look back, we look back to 2003. I know the people who were in the poker world, and I know the people who are still making money that haven't had a job. And I mean, I haven't had a job, and I've gone through, well, I mean, if I didn't have sports betting habit, I'd be untold how many millions I would have still. But I don't look back. I don't look back at my mistakes. I look forward. For the first time in my life, Chris, I have money management, courtesy of Phil Hummuth, fucking drilling it in my head over and over and over. And I always used to say, you could have an A game. I'll take the guy with a C game that doesn't have a D game or an F game that has game selection and money management over a guy that has an A game that has no game selection and no money management. And I'll stick with that. You agree?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
It took me a long time to know that. I was always had the big ego, challenged everybody, played shorthanded, head up, three-handed. And I put myself in a lot of bad spots. Not that I lost in poker, but, if I do get stuck, then I start betting more on sports, and it just led one thing. It was just like a spiraling effect. And now that I've gotten rid of all that,
Looks like we have more questions.
Oh, we do? Okay. Let's give us another question.
Hey, Chris, is your flight booked to Edmonton yet?
What was that?
Is your flight booked
Hey, Chris,
to Edmonton
is your
yet?
flight booked to Edmonton yet?
Is my flight booked to Edmonton? They've been trying to get me to come up to Edmonton for the Moneymaker tour for a year, and we were basically we were going to go up there. We were going to do it, and obviously all hell broke loose, and it doesn't look like we're going to be doing it, at least in the short term. I don't know, what the future holds, but my flight is not booked currently.
Okay.
But we were planning on going up there, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Chris, I was wondering, what have you done to improve your game over the years? Thank you so much. I've
done a lot of things to improve my game over the years. I've actually had poker coaches. I've had poker friends that are better than me. I've watched videos. I've used solvers. You know, I've had mental coaches. I've put a lot of time, effort, and money into improving my game and making sure that you know, I'm keeping current with the times. And you know, even though I can't play online poker, that's really where, you know, you learn so fast because you get to play so many hands. I'm staying abreast of what's going on online by just watching videos and keeping current with everything that's going on.
Well, that's good to hear. Yeah, you know, I don't really, I've never really kind of done any of the solvers or any of that. I do have a friend that has learned, like, spent hundreds of thousands of hands that I used to teach poker with on GTO, and he kind of wants me to learn it, and I've been working with him a little bit. Um, but like I said, I'm one of those people that has great instincts that the only thing it's going to do is help me understand what other people are doing. I can never be the person that plays
Well, that's
straight
it. I'm
GTO.
a field player or a
Yeah, me
instinct
too.
player, what you want, but it does help to know when you're playing against these young guys what their thought process is and what the, you know.
Right.
To be honest, the games that I'm playing, I play more of an exploitive style anyways because it's more profitable. But when I do play against tougher competition, I do need to know what the GTO lines are and what, you know, what they're doing, and therefore I can better understand it and counteract it. But to be honest, I really, you know, it's very rare that I play against the top level guys, so I'm usually deviating pretty bad from the solvers.
Right. Yeah, so that's the same with me. And that's what I kind of been trying, I kind of tell people all the time. It's like, unless you're playing the high rollers, which I have no interest in playing, because just I never, poker's always been about playing people that play worse than you, not people who play as good as you. And I'm not out to, like, see whose dick is bigger and see who, you know, because there's just nobody. Yeah, every year somebody in the high roller goes on a rush. I mean, there's nobody that's had 2 good years, you know, or 3 good years. It's they switch off because, as you know, the difference between the best player in the world and somebody like you and me is so small that it would take 10 years to really, you know, if you played every day to deviate. Would you agree with that statement?
Yeah, of course. I mean, you know, especially in a game like Hold'em, where, I mean, to be perfectly honest, I mean, it's not really that hard to play a Texas Hold'em poker tournament. And at the end of the day, you just got to wake up in the right situation. And, you know, we all know how to maximize our opportunities, play a big stack and grow a stack, and how not to get short. And it really just comes down to winning your flips and, you know, being in the right situation at the right time and waking up with coolers, picking off right bluffs, picking up good spots to make your bluffs. But, again, everybody's doing that. It's not like it's, you know, rocket science by this point. It's still hard to do, and a lot of people do it. But, again, like you said, the top, I don't know, X% of the population in poker are all pretty equal. It's just who's running hot at the given time.
I agree 100%. And, you know, that's why
We have
I
another
laugh at
question for Chris.
All right, let's hear another one.
Hey, Mr. Moneymaker, just wanted to know if there's any poker enemies or any poker players that you don't get along with.
I'll be honest, I get along with everybody. I'm probably the easiest person to get along with. I mean, I talk a bunch of junk, but I take it equally as well. Good night, girl. I love you. You know, I don't really see anybody as an enemy. I mean, there's people I don't want to play, like Eric Seidel, for example, because he just owns my soul. But as far as, like, people I don't like, no, there's nobody that I can think of other than Mike Manisel.
Yeah, there you go. You know, I'm the same way. I mean, you're such a nice guy, Chris, and we get people don't realize the poker world is such a small community, and it's very important. And it's not just about being respected by your peers, but when people see you, knowing that they come up and they look forward to seeing you, it makes me feel good. And we know in our business, there's a lot of, you know, scumbags in the poker world, and everybody pretty much knows who all them are. But there's not, you know, there's just not as many as everybody thinks there is. Most of us are, it's like a family. So, you know, I really don't have anybody I dislike either.
Yeah, I mean, there's obviously hidden people that are, bad people in the poker world, but I would say by this time, like you said, the majority of the people that, have been around for a long time, they all kind of know each other. They know who they can trust and who they can't. And, again, it's not that big of a community. It's a big community, but it's really not.
Yeah. So, like going back, like I remember like the NBC head ups, you fucking ran so god awful, like 3-4 years in a row where you took like ridiculous beats. And so many tournaments you've been in since. Have you won another tournament since the main event?
Yeah, I mean, I won plenty of tournaments. I haven't won like a monster tournament though.
You haven't won any big ones.
I win, I play a lot of, 1,500 and 350s and 2,000. Right. I mean, events like that. But I don't play a whole lot of, like, I probably average 2 events over $10,000 a year. So,
right.
It's just not something I generally play that much.
Have you learned how to play any other mixed games or anything else, or PLO? What else do you play?
Oh yeah, no, I play all the mixed games. I enjoy playing. I thought about playing the Poker Players Championship. That's one of my bucket list events that I want to play. I'm looking forward to doing that. I won an 8-game in Monte Carlo, and I won one in some other European country. I can't even remember anymore. But yeah, I've won a couple of mixed game events and some PLO events.
I
actually enjoy playing mixed games more than I enjoy playing Hold'em.
Of course, I love playing.
I think
mixed
most
games.
people that are still playing do.
Yeah, I mean, people like I got famous because I, of all my success at the World Series and the main event and everything, and all my final tables at the World Poker Tour. But I've always my bread and butter has been grinding the 400, 800
Omaha
mixed
8.
games. Yeah, Omaha, Hold'em, Stud 8. Now they put all these monkey games in, but I still do really well at them. But I much rather play mixed games. But lately, I've been getting into a lot of really good private games that are just so good that I still, even when they're really big, if they're super big, I'll play for like 20%. My win is so much. You know what I mean? I'd rather play for 20% in a game where you're winning or losing 100,000 than playing a 10, 20 or 20, 40 no limit where you're playing against like all the best players. So, game selection is important. Getting in private games are important. I'm still not a fan of private games in casinos. I'm really against that, but I do believe that there should be, if people want to play private games at home, I'm glad that I'm entertaining enough to get into them because I don't really give anything away, but I make people laugh and they invite me.
Well, the only people not getting into private games are people that are really good and also don't have a personality.
Correct.
I mean, that's part of getting in a good game is having a good personality and wanting people to be around you. I mean, that's a skill. And if you want to be a good poker player, that's a skill you have to have.
Right. And like, people say, well, when the height of Ivy never said a word, and Ivy didn't have much of personality, and he was a killer. Ivy was one of the funniest guys you could ever be around. People forget some of the, like he might not have talked a lot, but he threw one-liners out at people. If you go back and look at the old high stakes poker, I mean, he's a funny guy, and you go hang out with him, he's a funny guy. So, it's just,
Well, yeah, and also, I mean, he's a different character than most. I mean, he's poker royalty from back in the day. I mean, there's, 10, 15 people that it doesn't matter if you're the worst person on the planet, you're going to get into games just based on who you are. I mean,
yeah,
and your notoriety. And, Ivy could get into any game he wanted because he's Phil Ivy. He didn't have to be funny.
Yeah.
People want to play with him.
And I've been, I think for about 5 years now, even since my injury and stuff, when I show up, I'm just like, my motto has been make poker fun again, make poker fun again. Daniel's been doing the same because we go, and that's the thing I love about playing those 10K buy-in mixed games at the World Series, because there's between 150 and 200 of us, which reminds me of basically what the World Series was from when I became professional in '96 till about 2003 when you won the tournament. There was about 200 of the same people, and it was like a family affair. And so I enjoy that, and we look forward to seeing each other every year. Um, and like I said, there's a lot of top players that get upset, like, oh, I can't get in this private game, or I can't, nobody will let me play, or, well, then fucking get a personality or give something back. You have to give something you have to bring something to the game. If you don't talk and you don't play any hands and you're a nit, you're just never getting invited back, you know?
You don't play the bomb pots, you
Looks
don't
like we have
flip,
another
you don't do
question.
things that maybe you don't have the best edge, but you give up some of your edge to be fun in the game. I mean, every time you see these private games go off, it's the people that don't get invited are the ones that when it comes to the bomb pot or PLO flips or whatever, they say no, I'm out.
Yeah.
Well,
every half
people,
hour I do a PLO flip or a bomb pot. Matter of fact, the last bomb pot I played, I won a $54,000 bomb pot. I looked down. I had pocket kings. The flop was king, jack, jack, and a bomb pot. The two people had a jack. I was able to stack one of them and won like 30,000 in the pot. But the thing is people don't understand is bomb pots and flips. You have the same exact edge as they do. Okay, so you gotta gamble a little bit with them. If you don't, like, I never say no to a flip. I never say no to a straddle. I never say no to a bomb pot. And I talk and have fun. And I guarantee you, I'm probably the tightest player in the game. But they don't care, as long as I'm having fun with them. Okay, we got another question there,
and
Chris.
a lot of them don't even realize it's a sad thing. As long as you're talking, people don't realize how tight you are.
No, they don't. As long as they're like, hey, this guy's fun to be around. Like, I know you're fun to be around in the game, and I'm fun to be around. So those are very important things, man. And I try and teach a lot of these wizards that, and instead of crying about how it's unfair it is, they never get on Poker After Dark, or they never bring something to the table. You get on Poker After Dark. I have one more question, Chris.
Hi, Mike. This is Jeremy. I have a question for you and Chris. I know both of you guys have written books. I was just wondering, what's your guys' process? Do you write the book first, or do you go find a publisher, or do you pitch them the idea? I just wonder if you can explain that. Thanks.
I'll start off first. When I wrote my book, Check Raising the Devil, in 2008, I had a ghostwriter came over every day. He basically listened to my stories, listened to everything that happened, recorded it all. We broke it down into different chapters, and then he would write it into how I sounded based on how I was talking to him, and that's how I did that. I have another book coming out called Poker, Pain, and Politics, How All Three Made Me a Better Person. And with this virus and stuff, hopefully I'll get that out by the middle of summer. What's your answer to that there, Chris?
I did the exact same thing, did the ghostwriter on my book, and during the process I learned that I'll never do a book again. It's probably the process that I have enjoyed the least in my 15 years after winning the World Series. Going back and reading over all the transcripts and going through and editing it, I thought it was quite miserable. And
it was miserable.
Wasn't worth the time and the effort.
Yeah, and you don't make make money make it. You don't. There's no money in doing the book, so it was miserable. I think that the only reason why I'm writing this other book is I've been through so much since my injury, since Full Tilt went down. My road back, that people just, I try and tell them about it, and it's just, it's unimaginable what I've been through. There's like two people in the world that know what I've been through, and I've dealt with severe chronic pain for many years, and it's been somehow, some way I've been able to survive without being able to really work. And so there's I feel the need to write this book. But yes, I agree with you. I do remember it was not fun proofreading it all. It was a real miserable experience. So
miserable experience for not much money, like you said. So
yeah,
and you have something to tell people. I mean, honestly, I won the main event, and I still am. I'm an ambassador for Poker Stars. I do a lot of small tournaments, but I still, most of my time is spent with my family or playing small events and having fun with people. I mean, I much enjoyed just sitting around a table and cutting jokes and having a good time and making a little money on the side.
Yeah, and I'm
Not a
glad
whole
that
lot to tell.
I'm really happy. I tell people all the time that PokerStars kept you on because I thought that you did so much for the poker boom for poker, and that even when as the years went by and you weren't like playing a lot of poker, that they kept you on, and I kept saying that it's very important to keep Chris on, and I know you appreciate that from them, and I do too.
Yeah, no, they've been a great company to work with. I mean, and they've come and gone with a lot of different people, ambassadors, and changed hands as a company, and they've seen my value, which is nice to see that your hard work is paid off, because I do a lot of work for them. But although right now I don't feel like I'm doing a whole hell of a lot, which is kind of weird, just sitting around. But it's a nice little vacation time, I guess, if you will, is sort of the perk of it.
Now, with them changing owners, I've heard a lot of different things. Is the way the company's run, is it a lot different now with the new owners?
Well, I mean, of course it is. I mean, I had a personal relationship with Esai and Mark back in the day, and if I needed something, I would pick up the phone and call them. I mean, I'm pretty sure the same way you had with Full Tilt. I mean, if you wanted something, you picked up the phone and you called them. And now it's a corporation. It's a huge corporation, and I have people that kind of manage what I do, and I have a team of 3 or 4 that look after me and make sure that I'm where I'm supposed to be, and I've got my schedule what it is, and if I want something, I request to them, and then they request up the chain, and it's a company now, but it's still the one good thing is they're all on the Isle of Man. They I still know a lot of people there. It's still a good company, and I'm proud to work with. It's just the way that you interact with them is a little bit different. I don't know some of the top people like I used to know is the biggest difference.
Right. I noticed.
I'm more working with a localized team.
The Sunday Millions had like a record last week of 93,000 or something. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, we just had a massive record. They just announced the New Jersey WCOOP, online series for New Jersey. This came out tonight, I think. It's going to be April 11th to the 27th. So, depending upon what's going on here in a couple weeks, I may go up to New Jersey and play online. I don't know how hotels and things are.
You couldn't pay me enough money. You couldn't give me $1 million to fly to New Jersey, the epicenter of the virus right now.
First of all, I would never fly. I would drive my own car.
Yeah.
There would be a 0% chance I would ever get on a plane. I don't mind driving my own car where I'm away from people, and the biggest question would be if I could get secluded enough to be by myself.
Yeah.
And that would be the biggest question.
So right before they closed down everything, so Lizzie, Lizzie Harrison, right? You know Lizzie?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So she was out here visiting, and then she went for the poker awards, and then she went back to New Jersey, and she's like dreading that she went back to New Jersey because she can't get out, right? And she's thinking about driving her car across country, but they're not letting people even drive. If you come from New York, they're not letting anybody even drive now. I don't know if you noticed, like they will not let anybody with a New York license plate leave the state. So she's kind of stuck there and not.
Yeah,
really
no, I saw you have to be quarantined for 14 days.
Well, I knew New York would be the worst. And it's just this next year is going to be a nightmare. It had to be the worst because it comes from all over the country, all the flights, all over the world, and it's 8 million people in a city half the size of Las Vegas. So of course it's going to be the worst.
Looks like we have another question.
All right, we got another question. One more. Go ahead.
Hey, Mike, how you doing? It's Ivan. My question was, you as well as your guest today, Chris, was wondering, when you guys originally started, how much was your bankroll like when you first literally started? Because to be honest with you, I got really big into it with Chris because he was a county major, I believe, and so forth, and kind of have the same background, so I was just wondering about that. And the second question is, how's your health doing overall? Because I'm having my share myself, so I know what you mean when you talk about your pain on a daily basis. So God bless. Take care, guys.
All right. Well, I when I got back, it's really weird. It's like I was in Washington D.C. a month ago. I was at the in the room that they have all the what's it called that they right now outside. I took pictures in the in that room where they're doing all the meetings right now. And a month later, the whole world's changed. But you know, with that, I'll say I started off with playing $4, $8 limit hold'em, then 10-20 limit hold'em, then 20-40 limit hold'em. Back then, there was no limit was played up until '99 when I won my first bracelet. They played 2 no limit tournaments a year. It was their 3,500 in the main event and the 10K in the main event. I won the 3,500, and the guy from Ireland that won the main event that year in 1999 is the one who gave me all the chips when I won the 3,500. So I started off small and kind of build myself up, and took some shots, which I don't do now. Which is why it took me quite a while to get myself back on my feet, because I was so scared to go broke again. Because going broke is not fun. What's your answer to that, Chris?
Sort of the same answer with you, with a little bit of caveat. I mean, I started. There was no limit either. It was all limit hold'em. That's basically all we played. We played $5, $10 limit, sometimes 10-20. Played online on PokerStars. They did have no limit on there, but the high roller game back on PokerStars was 2-5 no limit. So it's just a much different time back then. My bankroll was, I didn't really have a set bankroll, but it was in the $200 to $400 range. And when I had $2,000 online or $2,000 in my bankroll, I felt like I was rich. I felt like I'd really done really well. And then when I, obviously won my seat to the main event, I was working on fumes. I had about $8,000 in credit card debt.
You weren't going to even play, I
won the
heard,
World
right?
Series.
You were going to take the 10,000. You weren't going to play. Is that true? At first?
If I could have, yeah. There wasn't an option back then, thank goodness.
Oh, okay.
If I could have taken the money instead of the seat, I never would have played the event.
Yeah.
And I actually tried to get fourth place, which was $8,000 in cash, but my friend talked me out of it. So I never would have played the World Series of Poker. And after I won the World Series, I mean, to be perfectly honest, I never played any big games. I played one night against Nick Binion all night, and that was the biggest game I ever played, and probably the only time I ever played that big. And everything else has been pretty low-key, and, I play 25-50 every now and then, but for the most part, it's been 2-5, 5-10, and 10-25.
Yeah, and I tell people all the time, we're playing. When you play the 2-5, 5-10, 10-25s, you're playing against people playing for a living. The games are not easy. You play in bigger games. You play against a lot of rich people that don't care if they win or lose, but you're also going to swing a lot. So whenever you see me or you hear about me playing in a big game, I never have. I usually have anywhere between 30% to 50%, but most of the time between around 25. If it's real big, if it's a game you can lose 50,000 in, I don't ever want to lose more than 20. So I put myself in positions where now that I never did before, and the old me would just like, all right, I'll take a 20,000 shot of my own money, and if I would have done that the last 6 months, I would have another 500,000. But I gave I pieced myself out a lot of it, and I've had a good year. But I don't harp on it because I've learned money management, and I know that all the people that I owe, which isn't that many, will get paid. But the bottom line is I won't go. I can't put myself in a position where I have to worry about where I can getting my bills paid or where I eat my food at and ever again. It was the worst feeling that ever happened to me. And, lucky for me, I learned from it,
That's the biggest thing, is learning from it. I mean, I just always owned everything I've ever done has been 100% of myself. I've never really sold any pieces other than on Stake Kings for a little bit of a sweat every once in a while. But the majority of the stuff, that's why I play smaller games, is because I just like making decisions with my own money. I feel bad if I lose someone else's money, so I generally
and there's two ways to look at it. When I play at somebody else's money, it makes me play 3 times better because I hate to lose somebody else's money. That's why I've only lost for one person that ever staked me, and that one person I lost for was the year that I was sick and didn't know I was sick. All I kept saying is, like, he put up 100 at the World Series and I put up 50, which is I put up a third and he gave me a 17% free roll, and I went 0 for 15 at the World Series, and it's never happened in my life. I've only had 2 losing World Series in my life. That was one of them. But the worst part was, is I kept telling everybody, is there's something neurologically wrong with me. Like, what do you mean? I go, I don't know. But hands are supposed to be raising, I'm folding. Hands are supposed to be falling, I'm folding, I'm raising. It's like my brain wasn't working right, and I was limping. My feet were all swollen, and then it ends up I was right. There was a disc going, almost had my whole spinal cord severed, and so it was something neurologically wrong with me. And so I've told that person many a times that I want to get him that money back, and I will, But other than that, I've done well when I've took people.
There has always been something wrong with your brain, Mikey.
I know. Fuck off, computer. So, of course, there's something wrong.
The computer is correct.
Everybody knows there's something wrong with my brain, but listen. One thing I know, Chris, in the poker world, you have to be a little bit fucking off to be successful, and that's like that in anything. If you look at the top musicians, top actors, top poker players, they're not the Brady Bunch. Okay, they're fucked up. You have to be a little bit off to be successful in whatever you're in. At least that's the way I look at it.
Yeah, I've been telling people that for 15 years. You got to have a messed up mind to do what we do.
Yeah. So, anyways,
and that's why you see so many problems. But
they let your ass in the Hall of Fame in front of me. How's it feel to be in the Hall of Fame?
Honestly, Mike, I hate it because I know you want to be in it. I know it's something that you want, and I could truly care less, and that's what, kind of sucks. I mean, I don't even know where the Hall of Fame is. I don't know anything about it. Couldn't tell you anybody else that's in it. I know I'm supposed to say I'm grateful and it's awesome and yada, yada, but to be perfectly honest, I didn't ever really care. I didn't, people would always ask me, do you want, what are you going to start lobbying? Are you going to try to get in? And I just honestly never cared. I knew that, you were wanting to get in, and I hope you get in. But
the main reason why I want to get in.
I know for.
Go ahead.
What's that?
Sorry.
I'm just saying, it does stink because, the fact that I don't care and you do. I hate that I got in before you, but.
Well, it's not that I care to be so
come.
much to be in. It's the fact that my dad is 89. He was in the hospital for 4 months. He was in really bad health, and now he is doing better. We can't have anybody go in and visit him right now because with the virus and stuff going on. I'll be in, and I know Matt Savage will be in, and like Matt told me, he was, there's a couple of people that didn't vote for him, and he said he'll never forget them because of the fact he wanted to get in before his father passed away, and then his father passed away and wasn't around now. And so I'm kind of in the same boat. I know my dad is 89. I want to get in only because for him, why he's still alive. Other than that, honestly, Chris, if it wasn't for him, I could care less if I ever got in. I say that, and Helmy says, "You're such a liar." I'm like, it's, we do things for our parents. I don't care what anyone says. All my success, all the tournaments I won, whenever I've won them, I've always thought about my parents. And, that's just something with me. And so that's where it's the most important to me is hopefully I get in while my father's still alive. If I don't, I'll never, ever forgive the World Series of Poker for it. That's all. But you're a very deserving candidate.
Well, I think I get a vote now, so I'm sure I'll put my vote to good use. It won't be Matt Savage.
Yeah. Well, if you could throw me some votes, I appreciate it. And you're very, very deserving. You've done a lot for poker, not just winning the main event. Outside of that, you've been a great ambassador for poker. And I know that. I know what a good person you are. I know how much you care. And to me, that means a lot. So, for anybody out there that ever asked me about Chris Moneymaker, I always said nothing but great things because I know how much you care about poker. And a lot of people, they make their money, whatever, and they don't actually care about poker. They just care about winning the money. People like what's that guy, McKinnon, and whatever that guy's name that won the World Series 4 years ago, that everybody hates because he doesn't care about poker. He just wants the money, tells everybody to go fuck off for an autograph. The kid from Philly, but whatever. You've been a great ambassador. You care about
He
poker.
was my coach
I care
for a
about
while.
poker. Yeah, I mean, I don't know him. He's been nice to me, but everybody seems to hate him because of his attitude. But listen, that's his own prerogative.
So it's
Me
funny, because
personally,
I do a lot of appearances. I do a lot of things, and he was like, I want to get some of those appearances. Like, man, well, you got to be nice to people. He said, I'm always nice to people on the table. I said, you got to be nice to people off the table. He's like, well,
oh my God,
I'm not going
he's
to be
so
nice to people that
terrible
don't
to people
deserve
off
my
the
time.
table.
I'm like, well, that's why you don't get appearances.
Exactly. And I've heard people that are friends with him that say he's a really nice guy, but he's got, a lot of these people that have been successful in poker, they didn't have the greatest social growing up, and then they learned playing online poker because they didn't have very good social skills, and then it comes back to bite them when they want to get appearances and stuff. So listen, the thing that's
The
important,
one thing
I
I'll
think,
say
going
about Joe
forward,
is Joe owns it. He knows who he is, and I mean, he
Right.
doesn't shy away from the fact that he kind of wants to be left alone and left to his own devices. I mean, he's not someone that fake is fake. I mean, he's going to tell you straight up who exactly.
no,
Excuse me,
that's
he
great.
is.
That's great. But like you said, you can't get appearances if you treat people if you don't treat people with respect. Like I said, he's been nothing but nice to me, but I've heard a lot of horror stories from different people. So I can only say how he's treated me. So I have nothing else, nothing else to say, with that.
Yeah, again, he treated me just perfectly fine, but I mean, again, he treats everybody a little bit different, and that's it. Again, that's his prerogative. Like I said, he's a real person. He's not gonna. And the one good thing about him is you're gonna know where you stand with him.
Yeah, and
and there's something to be said for that.
The kid Joe, I think it's Joe. What's the kid that won his fourth bracelet? The guy that finished fifth 2 years ago, and then
Joe
went out
Cotta.
and won. Licata, okay. Now when Joe Cotta won the World Series that year, I called him a fucking complete idiot. I said you were the worst player at the table and you didn't deserve to win. I told him, like, me, I tell it like it is, right? And he didn't like the fact that I called him out on it, right? But now I walked up to him and I said, you know what? I respect you. I think you were the best player at the table. I thought you got really unlucky, and for you to go back and win that turbo right after finishing fifth shows how much character you have, and I have utmost respect for your poker game. And he was very appreciative. So it's like he was young. He was 21, and he didn't like the fact that he won and he was getting so much shit from everybody. But the bottom line is I'm gonna call it out. If I think you're a great player, I truly believe Joe Cotta might be the best no limit tournament player in the world. Okay, his results show it. I watch him. He knows how to switch gears. He knows how to go into tight mode. He takes what the table gives him. He has become a complete player, and I give props where props are due. And to see somebody go from where he was when he won the main event to where he is now, hey man, you tell it like it is, and my hand's off to him, and he's a good guy, so I respect that. So, well, Chris, anything else you want to plug here on the show?
No, I think we've covered enough for the last hour or two.
Okay. Well, everybody,
good talking to you.
I appreciate you being on the show, Chris. I want you to do me a favor and just say this is Chris Moneymaker, and you're listening to the Mouthpiece.
This is Chris Moneymaker, and you're listening to the Mouthpiece.
All right, my man. Stay safe. Keep your family safe. And hopefully all this shit will pass and things will get back to normal one day. Okay. I appreciate you coming on the show.
Yep. Talk to you soon, bud. Take care.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye. All right, everybody. Well, that was another great session of the Mouthpiece. Thank you all for listening. We will be back on next week. I'm going to try and get Huckseed on the show, and everybody else. Social distance, stay home. We'll all get through this together. I love you all. Take care.
The Mouthpiece.